First off, hi. Um, Coming back on here as I have told y'all this past week, I think it was, or a little bit longer. Um, so I asked on Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook, just so you guys can send me just random questions about anything at all so I can make a new video. Since I do talk a lot about different topics, but I just wanted to create one. I have this really great poem that I was really, I guess, inspired to write. Um, it was a recent life event that really made me write and throw up all over the paper. And that sounds very weird, but what I mean by that is just like it really allowed me to put a pen and a paper together and make work. So my brother's actually gonna help me. He's actually really gonna help me on this project to make it the visual of that poem come to life. Anyway, the point of this video. So I asked you guys. My hair's like so messed up and the weather is like really bad. And if y'all know, my hair is not naturally straight. It is an afro. Not really, but it's really poofy. Whatever. Y'all are gonna have to deal because I cannot get it to do anything. Golly. So anyway, I asked you guys to send me some questions. No. And I got some really good questions, and some of the questions that I got were kind of like personal. I mean, I think they kind of all are, but I had some that were personal and they kind of required a response right then and there. So the first question I had that was asked, it says, would you mind talking about how life is never easy, but what people can do to make it just a little easy? I would love to hear what you have to say about the subject and what I can do to make mine easy. So, I guess there's a few parts to that question. The first one, talk about how life is never easy. And that right there kind of is self-explained. Life is not ever easy. Everyone eventually will go through some problems. They will eventually go through things that they did not expect. They did everything right in their mind and everything that they could possibly do right, because we're living with a lot of people in this world. This world is not just made up of one person. We have to get along with so many personalities, people, situations, events. Everything happens. It's life. Life is not easy. I think what someone can get out of it though is just understand that alone, that it's not meant to be easy, I guess. But when those situations become difficult, to learn from them, to actually be able to stop, analyze exactly what's going on, and then think through it, and just really learn from it. Yeah, that life isn't easy, but also understanding that you can change how you react to it. That's one thing that you do have control over, and how you're gonna respond to it. And the second part to this question is what people can do to make it just a little easy. I think what people can do to make life a little bit easier is just really, there's things that you can control, and just realizing the things that you can control, and being able to act or react before anything bad happens. There's things that in life that you will not know that are coming your way, so there's not a way for you to prepare yourself and actually making it easier or any easier, because they're unexpected. You don't know they're coming your way. The third part to this question, how do you make your life easier? And I guess that comes in with what I just answered before. I'm not sure what you're going through, And I'm not sure, if you're going through like a difficult time to make your life easier, or if you're going through something difficult, but what you can do, and I think this might sound so cheesy to a lot of people, but honestly, it's just really praying, and seeking God. We do not have the answers to everything, and we have to know to be okay with that. We're not supernatural, and the only one that does have control of what happens in the future, we are in part responsible, but God knows what He's doing also. If we actually put everything, like our worries, our problems, everything in His hands, and have peace in that, and just like really breathing and, just letting God take control, then we should already have peace there. Some peace to understand that I have no idea what's going on right now. I'm feeling so crappy right now, but I know that He's got control. And whatever happens, those people that did me wrong or those people that did this, God will take care of them. Just really believing that. And pray. I think the next one I got, and this is kind of very personal to me too, and I guess they're in the same situation. And this is something I really don't ever talk about, but I will answer because I think, well, I told y'all to ask me anything. So, this person says, so I have 2 baby daddies, and I know you do too. I hope I'm right. Anyways, I just want to know how you feel about that. Do you feel like people would judge you? And and I have many more. So she asked me this first. So yeah, I do have 2 different fathers for both my girls. Now I don't know exactly your situation. For the person asking this, I don't know how it all happened, but I will speak in reference to how it was, for me. Now, both of them I've known for 10 plus years. They're not strangers, and they're not, I guess, I do feel like initially when people don't know me, they do judge me. And now I don't, because I know the truth behind it. They're not one night stands, like, just be blunt about it. Like, they're not just random people. With my oldest daughter, we were best friends for 4 years, and, his family would always tell me to talk to him. It was something, we were best friends, and I finally gave him an opportunity to get to know him. We got married. We dated for 2 years, and then we were married for almost 4 years. Things happened, yes, but we knew each other for about 10 years plus, and I did have my oldest daughter with him. And upon separating from him, I reunited back with the guy that is my youngest daughter's dad, which for me, when I first met him, he was like the guy I always dreamt of being with. And I've known him for a very long time. Again, they're not just random people. So initially, if I do tell people, yes, my daughters do have different dads, I guess in their mind they're like, whoa, what happened? I think now in this generation, though, a lot of women, or a lot of relationships don't last long, and out of those relationships there's kids, and in my case, yeah, I do have 2 girls, and they do have different dads. Whether people judge me or not, I leave it up to them. They don't understand the full extent. If they won't even take the chance to know me as a person, then I don't even bother, honestly. Like, people will always think whatever they want. As long as I know the truth, that's just not a random thing that just happened to happen in my life, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm at peace with that, and I guess that answers that part of the question. And then the second part to the question she asked, do you get along with them? Because I really have no kind of communication with them. Oh, I guess I didn't. So I do get along with them. I think there's many times I think where our communication is really off balance as far as like they may not understand something that I might say, and then there's maybe an argument, or not an argument necessarily, because I mean, I'm gonna say and be honest, like there has been times where they've been pretty much not the nicest. And when I get those kind of text messages or those kind of responses, I just don't say anything. I try not to respond. And if I do respond, I try not to be as negative. I'm not perfect, and there's some times where I just really answer in the same level as they're answering me, but then I just eventually tell them to stop. Like I just, but that's been a while, I think. Um, I actually talk to them. I do get along with them. I let them know if, like my oldest one, if she has anything events going on in school, I always let her dad know. And if he can make it or not, that's up to him. I feel good knowing that I let him know. I tell him, hey, they're having like a dad daughter thing at school, or they're having PTO this night. They're doing this kind of fundraiser. I let him know, and I involve them in as I can. If they ask me anything, I don't hesitate. I let them know. Honestly, I'm gonna say this, and I know some girls kind of, I don't know how they kind of take it, but if you're like refusing for the guy to see his daughters, or you're finding reasons, or you're mad, or you hold this thing against them, a grudge, and you're not letting them see them or be a part of, your kid's life, that's not doing any good for anyone. First off, if he's actually wanting to be involved, regardless of your relationship with him, regardless of the past that y'all have had, regardless of how he treated you, even that, like even if he treated you maybe in a negative way, but you've always seen him in some way loving to your kids, and they're not hurting them, they're not damaging them, but they're wanting to be in their life, I think you should. I mean, it's not about you as a person, and I know it sounds kind of like weird, and I don't know your situation. I'm not saying for you, but I think just in general for girls that have kids, and they have their dads, well, they're not together, but I think like it impacts the kids. It is the kids that suffer, and later on when they grow up, if they ever find out that you're the one that kind of refuse for them to see their dad, they're not gonna like you very much for that. They're gonna be like, why did he keep me away from my dad? Because it doesn't matter what he did to you. If he's actually being a good dad, to them, let him continue to be that. He wants to be involved. You can't really say no to that. I mean, I don't think you should. So that's my 2 cents on that. So I got another question, and this one's more simple. I guess I don't have to go into explanation, but which I don't mind explaining things. I just hope that I'm like explaining it right, Anyway, so this one's like, how old are you? Okay, I'm old, but I'm 30. Okay, guys, I'm 30, and I know when people see me in real life, like they think I'm like still 20 or 21, because I don't look old at all. And thank you for that now. Like that used to bother me when I was younger. Like, man, I looked like 12 and I'm like 20, but yeah, I'm 30, you guys, and I will be 31 next year. And yeah. The next question, what is your favorite color? Okay, so it used to be red growing up. I used to love the color red, and just like about 3 weeks ago, I know this is so random, or maybe a month now, but it just changed to purple. So I just recently changed my favorite color. Why? That was not asked, but I will say why. Actually, I don't know why. I just find that red is too to wear red. I think it's really attractive. If you're going out for a date night, whatever. I think it's really nice. I don't have anything red though. I have a lot of black. But anyway, and purple, I don't know, I just like purple. But purple's kind of like, in the bluish, darkish, kind of like lightish. There's different variations of purple. I like purple. It's not pink. It's not red. It's not black. It's purple. I just like purple. Okay, so the next thing, what is your life quote? I don't know what I would say my life quote is. I can say what I value more, and well, I don't know if this would even apply, but my life quote is just be honest, people, honest. Like, I don't understand why people struggle with just being honest. And especially if we're directly asking you something, like in a specific, like, dude, just answer it. Like, we kind of already have an idea. Just feed it to us, like, just tell us the truth. I think everyone should live by being honest. Yeah. The next thing, is it better to love or to fear? Of course, I'm going to say it's better to love. And I think maybe you correlate love and fear in some way, whoever asked this. But I think in a lot of ways that you can't really choose who you love. And that statement right there can be, true or false in so many ways. But I will say why. A lot of the times you don't expect to fall in love. You do not expect to start feeling things for someone. It just happens. Once it happens, though, and you find out their flaws, you find out their imperfections, because everyone should have some imperfections and should have some flaws. And if they do not know, or if they don't, then there is something that you have to really question. And I recently learned that. Okay, so now, once you learn all that and what they're not perfect in, from that point on, it's a decision whether you fall in love with them every day or you don't. Like, every day you have to choose to love them. Love, you can decide that. You can choose to hate someone. You can choose to not deal with anyone. But I think when it initially happens, and it's unexpected, there's going to be fear. And I think there is a good level of fear that you should have. I don't think it's like you shouldn't have like a negative fear. I don't know if people, or if you're gonna understand me as having good fear or bad fear. Like, fear's fear, right? But I think there is good fear. Like, as far as like being cautious and being aware of not putting everything out there yet if you don't know who this person is completely. If you haven't, I think once you fully know a person, they're good and they're bad. And then you still love them after that, you should still love them. I don't think you should be scared to love someone. I don't think that it's ever a mistake to love someone. I think even if you love someone that doesn't ever love you back, at least you felt that. You knew what it was to love someone. And I think there is a point where you have to come to a stop if they're being toxic to you. And I think I've talked about this in another video, but if they're actually being very toxic to you, there's a point where you have to walk away, because you also have to understand that you need to love yourself too. And you got to understand how much you're worth and how much you can take and how much you cannot take. I mean, everyone deserves a level of respect. If you allow things to just happen to you and then forgive them time after time after time after time, they're going to think it's okay. They got away with it, and if you don't respect yourself to a level of walk away, they're not going to respect you at a higher level. Like, you don't do it, so why would they? I think you shouldn't be scared to love. And I think love is bigger than fear. But, yeah, I hope that answered. If not that kind of, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but love is better than fear. I'll tell you that. So those are all the questions that I will answer for today. Now, again, I do have a video, a poem coming up. Like, it's so amazing. Kidding. No. Y'all stay tuned and subscribe if y'all haven't yet. And I will probably do another thing like this, with random questions that y'all can ask me, and I'll answer them to my best of my ability, how they say. And I like talking about things like this because I have conversations, and normally like this, I had one person I could really talk to about this, like open my mind and stuff like that. But most other conversations are just like over text message and stuff like that, which is not the same because I like being verbal about it. Bye. I'll talk to y'all later. Until the next time, watch my poem coming up soon.